Good morning, Mrs. What is your name?
Maria,
Nice to meet you, Miss Maria.
pleasure mine.
Okay, my name is Tyrese Tilly, and today we will be discussing echo chambers in relation to media regulation.
Super. Since we're discussing echo chambers today
Yeah,
and media regulation in South Africa, to start us off, what would you say an echo chamber is exactly?
right. So when I look at an echo chamber, or I like to say echo chamber, but I suppose you could say echo chamber.
Okay,
I see an echo chamber as an environment where people continuously are exposed to the same type of information,
okay,
particularly on social media and in any various forms of group oriented settings.
okay,
And social media algorithms perpetuate these similar beliefs by producing similar content that reinforces these beliefs in these groups.
okay,
And echo chambers are difficult because they keep people in a state of, how can I put this? They're unopen to explore other options,
okay.
right? So, but
So very
that's
much tunnel vision.
exactly
All
tunnel
right.
vision within these echo chambers.
Okay, so why are echo chambers, as you refer to them too, something we should be, concerned about?
I think that's a lovely question. And I think the concern comes when people close off their perception to new views. Because in these echo chambers, as we said before, as people keep on seeing familiar views and information that supports their bias, this is called confirmation bias. They block out their opinion to other credible and valid news sources, because most of the time in these echo chambers, the information that is reinforced has a tendency to be false, and people within these echo chambers fail to do background checks that validates the information that they're consuming.
Okay, right. That's awesome. So let's move along. Um, so communication. What would you say is communication policy and why it matters so much in our country?
All right. So communication policy refers to the rules and principles that are put in place to guide how information is distributed, like among
Okay,
a country,
all
right?
right.
So when we look at the policies that are made to protect this information, we look at protecting the freedom of expression, freedom of expression of these media organizations
Okay,
producing what they believe is the correct media, obviously while still creating accountability within these organizations.
okay,
So, as the general citizens, we rely on journalists and media organizations for reliable information,
correct.
and the governments should not have complete control over this because they will obviously perpetuate their own narrative.
Correct for everyone to see, which brings us back to the earlier point of tunnel vision and them only wanting us to focus on, delve in, and see what they want us to see.
Yes, exactly. So, this is why creating accountability within these spaces is also very important.
So let's move on and speak a little bit about media regulation.
Okay.
So, how would you say that external media regulation works in South Africa?
So, when we look at external media regulation, this is regulation that comes from institutions outside of the media organization. These institutions, one such as the ICASA, so this is the Independence Communications Authority of South Africa, right? And
Right.
they regulate licensed television and radio broadcasters.
Okay.
When we look at the rules of these regulations, we look at things as protecting people from harmful content,
Okay. Okay.
particularly children, right? And we delve into issues such as license conditionings for election broadcasting
Okay.
to ensure that advertisement is fair among the different parties in the
Okay.
country, and that they all have a fair broadcasting system. So one
Yes.
party is not biased over the other,
Good. To give it an even playing field. Yes.
right?
So, where would you say this problem actually starts? Where does it all stem from?
Right. So it's not as if external media regulation is doing, or these companies are doing a bad job with regulating the media. The problem is alternative forms of media, such as social media, right? So, social media does not operate like traditional broadcasting systems in South Africa. This is firstly because they are based overseas, and secondly, that we have no control over the algorithms that are being pushed. So, information can be posted anywhere on X, TikTok, Facebook, and WhatsApp. And this content can spread to millions of people within the click of a second, all
Wow.
while being unregulated.
Good, good, good. So, in essence, what it all boils down to is external regulation would probably, in all likelihood, work reasonably better for professional broadcasters, whereas it seems a little bit more difficult when you speak through or it moves through global social media platforms.
No, definitely. I
Okay.
mean, an example I can think of from this source I've pulled up is during South Africa's 2024 national elections, a journalist named Alan Leroux investigated false information being spread online that made people question the electoral process. It's a very engaging topic to viewers to grab onto, right? So the problem, however, is that the information was false and easily spread because the platforms themselves, the social media platforms, don't have external regulation checks to prevent false information from being spread. Yeah.
So let's speak a little bit about roles within internal media. What would you say? What role does internal media regulation play for us?
Right. So when we look at internal media regulation, we look at the media, like the media organization, their own ethical conduct, because because this regulation happens within editorial policies and ethical guidelines within the company. The journalists that work in these companies should verify and fact check certain claims and correct any errors being made while providing context to all of the information that they produce so that the viewer has a holistic understanding of what is going on, right? So this also helps prevent misleading information from being published. Uh,
Okay, okay. And how would you say that this would help with echo chambers?
right. So journalists can expose audiences to different viewpoints, right?
Viewpoints,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
They can correct misleading claims before repeating them, and they provide context that may be missing on social media.
All right. So, why would you say, in your opinion, social media makes regulation that more difficult?
Oh, another good one. And I think social media is the main issue why there is so much misinformation in the world. And as we've mentioned earlier, because of the nature of social media algorithms, and because as South Africans and in this country we have no direct control over what these
Over it.
platforms do,
Yeah.
it creates a very big issue. So like we'll see in traditional media spaces, professional journalists, editors, and publishers are responsible for producing the information that we
Okay.
all see, right? So social media almost allows anyone to create their own content and distribute this content,
Correct.
right? So what happens now if I'm a part of a certain group who believes a certain radical ideology and I continuously post information, some of it might be false, to this group, and they take in everything I believe without questioning it. Then
That's correct.
we have a really big issue because
It's a real issue at hand, and I have to agree with you on that one. Especially if you look at all this information or misinformation, even at that, that social media puts out there and the pace at which that information moves. Like you said, easy earlier on in our conversation, you click your finger and that information has already been looked at, read, viewed by millions of people all over the world, not even specifically to our country. So, yes, um, possibly a devil in disguise, we'd say,
no,
but
definitely,
nevertheless.
perhaps even the Antichrist. But let us not go there.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
not go there.
Yeah,
Um,
and you know what the nature of algorithms is that they push controversial content because that's the content that gets the most engagement from viewers.
correct. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And that's also what makes what makes these companies the most money.
That is correct. That is
Mm,
correct. People tend to gravitate more to what's trending, what's negative. You barely ever hear of very positive issues or outlooks or opinions being as widespread as those with negative connotations.
yeah.
What would you say South African media regulation?
Mm.
Would you say it's effective enough?
So South Africa has established regulations for traditional media broadcasters, as we have discussed. And as a South African, I would argue that they actually do a pretty good job,
Okay.
particularly when we look at traditional broadcasting, right? So that's all of the broadcasting companies within the country and whatnot. So professional journalists, we all expect them to maintain a certain ethical standard.
Okay.
But once again, the weakness comes in with social media that
Yeah.
cannot be regulated. And this goes to an even more extreme on more private platforms such as WhatsApp, where these private groups are reinforced and false information within these groups. So, yeah, South African regulators have limited control over what they can do on these social media platforms, and regulation therefore cannot solve the problem alone. A collaboration between maybe all of the major regulation systems of various countries should come together in a coalition to work with the social media companies to ensure
Yes.
that regulation is pushed on a global scale.
Enforced.
Yeah,
Correct.
enforced. Yeah,
Correct.
thank you.
Correct.
Mm.
And what would you say, in your view, how would we improve the situation?
Yeah. So as I said, maybe all of the major regulation outlets of countries come together and work with social media company owners, start fact checking certain information, clear warnings of misleading content, and once again, just a better regulation and communication between social media companies and these external regulators.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So then I think it would more than likely be fair to say that it would be a combination of things. So not only regulation, perhaps some responsible journalism, platform accountability, and having informed media users.
yeah, no, definitely.
Okay, great. So if you had to summarize your argument for us, what would you say to that?
Okay, so echo chambers show how difficult media regulation has become in the digital age. South Africa has a fairly strong system for regulating traditional media, but those systems are less effective when information spreads through social media and private platforms.
Yes,
Right? Echo chambers are also influenced by both the algorithm and our own choices as users. The best approach is therefore to combine external regulation, responsible journalism, and stronger platform accountability. All of this also would improve media literacy. I think also as like consumers of media and citizens, we need to recognize the responsibility that we hold. That
yes,
we should realize our own confirmation bias. That when we receive information and we willingly accept it, maybe we should take a step back and question some of the
correct.
things it is that we so willingly and easily take in.
Okay,
Right?
I would agree with you there. So our end goal shouldn't really be to control every single opinion that's put out there.
No.
Okay. So thank you very much.
No. Thank you, Miss Maria.
Thank you.
It
Have a
has been a
lovely
pleasure.
day.
Thank you for the discussion.